Solve linear inequalities. If you can solve a linear equation, you can solve a linear inequality. The thing about it is you have to remember the properties of inequalities. We'll talk about those as they come up. And it's the easiest if you show your work. So just like with solving equations, your inequality symbol is going to be the divider between the left and the right side where you're doing the same thing to both sides. So here we have 3x is less than 18. We're going to solve this and then graph it on the number line. So how do we solve 3x less than 18? Well, 3 times x, we're going to do the opposite of multiplication, so we're going to divide both sides by 3. Hopefully this sparks your memory that when you're solving inequalities, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you flip the sign, right? That's one of the properties. Now you can see if you show your work, this makes it very easy. So we are dividing by a positive 3, so there's no need because it has to be a negative. All right, so we divide our 3's, we get 1. So x is less than 6, and that is solving the inequality. When I go to graph that on the number line, okay, so I need 6, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And when we think about, I always put my variable on the left. It makes it a little easier. X is less than 6 means this represents all the numbers that are less than 6, smaller than 6. That means we're going to start at 6 and we're going to go all the way to the left because everything to the left on the number line is less than 6. Now you'll notice that I put an open circle here. It's open because 6 is not part of the solution. 6 is not less than 6. So we have open. Some people will also graph this. If they have this, we'll have a 0, we have a 6. Some people also use a curved line to show this, right? So kind of like a half parenthesis. It really depends on, I guess, your thought process. I don't know. They mean the same thing. Let's do another one. Solve and graph the solution. We have negative x over 4 is less than or equal to 2. Okay, so I need to get x by itself. If I have negative x over 4 and I need a positive x. So if I multiply both sides by a negative 4, because on the left side, a negative times a negative is a positive, and my 4's will go away, so I have x. But you'll notice, this is why I think it's helpful to show your work, because I am multiplying by a negative, so I need to flip my sign. So instead of less than or equal to, I'm going to have greater than or equal to negative 8. So in my number line, negative 8 is going to be over here. And notice, I have an equal. X could be equal to negative 8. So I'm going to have a filled in circle, and it's greater, so it's going to go to the right. At any point in time, if you're like, is this the right way? Check it. In this case, 0 is part of my solution. So if I would go back to my original inequality and say negative 0 over 4 is less than or equal to 2. Well, what's negative 0 over 4? That's just 0. Is 0 less than or equal to 2? Yes. So you can always check one of the numbers that is part of the shaded portion and see if it works. Let's do, I don't know, 2 more maybe. So x minus 7 is greater than 2. Excuse me, greater than negative 2. So, okay, by a line, I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Flipping the sign is only with multiplication or division, not adding. So I don't have to worry about this at all. So my plus 7's go away, and I have x is greater than 5. Okay, 5 is over here. Again, I'm going to do open circle, and it's greater, so it goes to the right. Open circle because 5 is not part of the solution. 5 is not greater than 5, so open circle. And x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 5. So now, I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. So x is greater than or equal to 4. So here's 4. Now x could be equal to 4, and I'm going to do, we can also do it the block way. So remember that first one where I showed you parenthesis? Well, if it's an equal sign, it would be like a bracket. So just for fun, if you have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, it's either going to be a closed circle or a bracket. Okay, depending on which way you're going. If it's just less than, or greater than, then you will have an open circle and parentheses. So the curved versus the bracket. I personally think open and closed circle are easier to see, but that's up to you. One thing that I wanted to show just real quick is on this one, if we would divide by 3, notice what you're dividing by is what matters. I'm dividing by a positive, so nothing changes. So it would just be x is less than -2. And there, solving linear inequalities.